Hey y'all, good evening and welcome to Sidewinder Shed. It's a Friday night. Good lord, I'm freaking tired. But had the grandkids over. They're still here. We're watching them until tomorrow morning. The wife's trying to get some sleep. She's been with them all day. I did a few projects today, worked on the fence, fixed my gate. Oh, did a few things. I'll tell you what, I'm tired. It's been a hell of a week. It's been a rough week. Get an ashtray here. I'm sorry. I'm not even drinking them. Just tired of having coffee. Keep my ass up. Rough day. Tell you what. Got up this morning, 3 o'clock. Oh, dark 30 hours. Good Lord. Heading into work. Driving my 32-year-old Dodge pickup truck. Going into work. Going down the highway. And on the exit I have to take to get to work, what do I see? Right where the off ramp is, I bear to the right. That's the off ramp. Highway keeps going to the left. Right in the middle, just a nice little triangle area. We got a big truck. Fucking Amazon Prime. Big truck. Sitting right there. In the middle of the road. Lights are on and everything. I figured he broke down. Now, the off ramp I take is a very long off ramp. Hell, you can take it at 60 miles an hour. No problem. It's a mile and a half long. No biggie. I'm cruising down. I see him sitting there. I'm in the off ramp lane right there going up. I get right up to him. Son of a bitch. No blinkers, no directionals, no intention. Pulls out right in front of me. This is a big off ramp. It's a 2-lane off ramp. He blocks both lanes. I have no choice but to do a friggin' panic stop. So I slam on the brakes. All I hear is a pop, and my foot goes to the goddamn floor. Figured I blew a brake line. Hey, it happens. I got 3 other cars right behind me. First guy, the truck comes right up. Saw his headlights disappear. This is on a fucking pickup truck, SUV. Headlights disappear. I'm expecting to get slammed in the ass. I'll give them this much. The 2 guys behind me, 2 people behind me, they saw what was happening. They did the same thing I did. They did a panic stop. Nobody hit each other. But that was how my day started. It went downhill from there. I had 3 other close calls in the big truck when I got to work. Then, of course, when I get done work, I have to drive my truck home with no friggin' brakes. Or very little brakes, I should say. because I didn't blow a brake line for whatever reason. Thankfully, all right, this is a good thing. What it was is that the seal in the master cylinder on the truck blew out, not the brake lines. So I need a new master cylinder. I will have that tomorrow. I'll try to put that in. It's kind of freaky, but that's where the brake fluid's coming from. The brake lines are all fine after. I won't get into it, but after work, I tested the brake lines, trying to look for the leak and everything. Brake lines are good. Um, Wheel cylinders are good for the back brakes. Calipers are fine. Nothing's leaking. Only place that's leaking is the seal in the master cylinder. So I get to replace that. But what a hell of a friggin' day. All right. And then 3 more close incidents. Yeah, I don't have my glasses on, but Mopar Nut 62, I think is what it says. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm going to have to put some glasses on. I can barely see anything right now. But yeah, no, I know it can be rebuilt and everything. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I got 2 days, tomorrow and Sunday to fix it. Because trust me, I've rebuilt master cylinders. I've rebuilt actually wheel cylinders before. Um, yes, I know how to do this shit, and I actually do have the tools and everything to do it. I don't have the time. It's my only means of transportation right now, so I gotta get done quick. Sometimes you just gotta suck it up and do what you can do. You know what I'm saying? And personally, to be honest with you, with the parts these days, I would prefer, although I haven't done it in 35, 40 years, I would prefer to take my chances on rebuilding it myself. I just don't have the time. Yeah, and that's the problem. The parts used to get so cheap that, yeah, nobody replaces it, nobody rebuilds them anymore. And those that do, they're making 15 cents an hour because they work in China. China. And they have no fucking clue what they're doing. So I'd rather do it myself, but I don't have the time to. You know what? For the last 18 years, I've done a lot of work on vehicles, not because I wanted to, but because I had to and I knew how to. And I've done it. I've sat here and literally all it was just replacing parts. Okay. And I went through and I replaced the parts and they had the same problem that I supposedly fixed. And so then they brought it to a real mechanic and like, well, this part is bad. And it happened to be the same part I replaced. Well, I started to doubt myself, but come to find out, I didn't do anything wrong. The part I replaced with the new part was bad to begin with. It's irritating, man. I hate that shit. Oh, Mopar Nut 62, I'll tell you what. I'll be 58 this year, so we're not that far apart in age. I have bought, let me make sure I get this right. I have bought 2 brand new vehicles in my life. One was a 1989 Ford F-250 4x4. I bought it in 1990. It was a leftover. Had 600 miles on it because the dealership was using it as their, hey, you want to buy a new truck? Take this for a test drive and everything. Anyway, it was still brand new. And at the time, I paid $7,500 for a 3/4 ton 4x4 truck. Go ahead and try and buy one nowadays. All right, for under $10,000, brand new. Unheard of. Even back in the day in 1990, the brand new 90s and 90s that were coming out, they were running anywhere from $9,000 to $13,000 at the time. So I got a good deal on it. The other brand new vehicle I bought, believe it or not, was a Harley Davidson, little Harley Davidson 883, and it was $3,800, brand spanking new. Those are the only two new vehicles I ever bought in my life, and I kept that 89 Ford F-250 for 27 years, and then I bought a newer truck. When it finally just died on me, it just 27 years it gave out. I put a new engine in it, and but everything else just got wore out, and I didn't have the time or the money at the time to fix it and keep it. And trust me, when I got rid of it, it was like putting a family dog down. It still hurts to this day because I had that damn thing longer than I've had my wife or my kids. I'll tell you that much. Um, but I did upgrade. I got a newer vehicle. I went from an 89 Ford F-250 3/4 ton 4x4 to a 92 Dodge W250 3/4 ton 4x4. And I paid $1,500 for the Dodge. It was from my wife, family friend of hers, her family, my in-laws and everything. Family friend, gentleman named Charles Nunley, and he we call him Pop. God rest his soul. He passed away a few years ago, but hell of a guy, real nice guy. And he was offered for the same truck I'm driving. He was offered $4,000, $4,500, and $5,000 for this truck, but he found out I needed one, and he sold it to me for $1,500. Now, family or not, it's awful hard to find somebody that would do that for you, and there's no way in hell I'd ever be able to repay him. And he's gone now. He's gone now, unfortunately, but he was a hell of a guy. He was a hell of a guy. And I'll tell you what, this is one hell of a truck too. I'm really impressed with it. It's the first Dodge I've ever owned. And although it's a 92, it reminds me so much of my first pickup truck, which was a 69 Ford F-250 4x4. It steers just like it, which in other words means, give me 40 acres and I'll turn this thing around. It's the easiest way that I found. They don't turn worth a damn. It's got the Dana straight axle front end on it. It it don't turn. It don't turn at all. I'm a truck driver by trade, and my tractor, my big truck, literally, this is no exaggeration. My big truck has a tighter turning radius than this damn Dodge does. And with that being said, though, Mopar Nut 62, I don't know if you're a subscriber or not. Obviously, you might be because, hell, you're on my channel, but you've seen the engine I built. Or if you haven't, check out my YouTube channel. The damn thing has got a 360 LA roller cam engine in it. Okay, cool. You are subbed. All right. Did you see the build? Because I built an engine for this truck. I just haven't had the time or the money to swap the damn engine over yet. But I built a nice little 360 for this truck. LA. And not Magnum. Yeah, they're very good engines. Yeah. You know what? And I'll tell you what. I'm also old school. I'm not that smart. And although I do like this, the truck I have right now has a throttle body, single port fuel injection, throttle body with the 2 injectors on it, which is nice. Very little problems with it. But the biggest thing I've run into is since I've had it, I've had to replace the brain box on it twice, and the electric fuel pump in it 3 times. So with this new engine, I went back to a 4-barrel carburetor and mechanical fuel pump, just because it's getting so hard now to find the electronic parts for it, because it is 32 years old and nobody wants to make them anymore. As a matter of fact, they stopped making them years ago, but nobody wants to rebuild them anymore for anything that a normal person can pay for. So I'm just going right back to the old analog, mechanical shit, where when I break down on the side of the road, if the fuel pump goes out, hey, it's 2 bolts and 15, 20 minutes worth of work on the side of the road to replace it, because I'll keep one behind the seat. And even if that don't work with the carburetor, I have the option of getting a gas can, setting it on the roof, and running a line to it and letting it gravity feed, and I can get home. Even with the throttle body, the fuel pump went out 2 miles from the house, and I had to have it towed because there's no way, I have nothing I could feed fuel into it with. Yeah, Mopar Nut, when you say you carry a spare pump, you're talking mechanical, correct? Or if you're talking an electric fuel pump, the last one I put in cost me $289. And I had just put one in the weekend before, and the new one got me from the house to the gas station, and it shit the bed. And I wasn't about to drop the tank again and everything, so I cut a hole in the goddamn bed of my truck so I could take it out from the top. Yeah, that way there, it's a 10-minute swap, but I still don't want to pay $300 each time I have to buy another piece of fucking Chinesium bullshit. So On this new engine, and I have an Edelbrock carburetor, I am going to have a dual feed. Um, but the Edelbrock, it's set up to take a fuel from either side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a fuel pressure regulator, a flow through. I'm going to hook one side of the bowl, the carburetor feed, to the electric fuel pump. The other side to the mechanical fuel pump. I'm not going to run both at the same time, but I'm also an A&P mechanic. I used to work on aircraft back in the 80s and 90s. A lot of small engine aircraft had mechanical fuel pumps, but they also had electric fuel pumps for boosters during takeoff. So if something failed, you had a backup. It's along the same idea. I'll plumb it so both will work, but I'll be able to use one or the other. And with the mechanical fuel pump, when it's feeding the carburetor, it'll be a deadhead. But when it's not, I'll have the valves and everything so that if I don't want to use a mechanical fuel pump, I'll have the option of letting it pump from the tank right back to the tank, same as the flow through on the electric fuel pump. And if the diaphragm goes out, instead of filling the crankcase with friggin' fuel, I'll have another switch where I can turn off the feed to the mechanical fuel pump, because then if it keeps running, I'm not worried about any damage that will be done to the mechanical fuel pump. Mopar nut, yes, I could run a low pressure electric fuel pump inline and use it for cold start and emergency. Yes, I could. That might be an option that when I replumb everything, I will put basically connectors in there so I can do that. But in the meantime, I have a perfectly good working, um, basically 16 psi. That's all that the TBI uses. It's not like it's in the 30s like a multi-port, fuel injection system. But yes, I might do that. But right now, um, I'm going to set it up so I can use either or. Always have a plan B. Always have a backup. And like I said, I'll keep an extra mechanical fuel pump behind the seat of the truck, because when I'm out in the woods with a 2,000-pound camper sitting in the bed of the truck and I'm not able to get to the electric fuel pump, if that goes out too, I can still get up front to the engine and change out the mechanical fuel pump. 20 minutes worth of work, maybe 45 in the rain, snow, sludge, whatever, when I'm off grid camping. I'll still be able to get out there. Worst case scenario, I'll take a friggin' fuel can, put it on the hood of the truck, run a line to the bowl, and limp my way out till I can get to somewhere where I can fix it. See, a carburetor, all these old analogs, there's so many things you can do to at least get you from point A to point B. Even if it's only at 25, 30 miles an hour, you can still move. This electronic bullshit we got now, there's no warning. It just says, hey, I'm doing fine. Have a nice day. Everything's working good. I quit. And there ain't shit you can do about it. You're stuck on the side of the fucking road. You know? My God. Diagnosing problems. Back when I was learning how to do it, I was high tech when I used the old Sun Machine, the big Sun Machine, and had all the probes and wires. And hey, it was cool when you hooked everything up to the ignition and you could kill one cylinder at a time. That was high tech. The guys before me said, "No, we we just used a test light to kill ignition." The guys before them said, "Hell, we just grabbed onto it and pulled the plug wire off." And that was cool too until you had the GM HEI ignition that had 60,000 fucking volts going through it. Grab onto one of those because I have too. It will light your ass up worse than grabbing onto a damn old points ignition spark plug wire and getting zapped by that. You know, grab onto the old GM HEI when they first come out. Let 60,000 volts run through your, it light you up in a heartbeat. Yeah. It's kind of like, well, there's your problem. That spark plug wire is bad. It has a open short in it. See, it's sparking. You fucked me. Turn it off. It'll set you on your ass. I'll tell you that. I've done that a few times. Yeah, like I said, I'm not that smart. Took me about 3 or 4 times to figure out, no, I don't want to do that with an HEI ignition system. Yes. Yeah, 4-pin. This is why I used to hate fucking Mopars when I worked on. Because, yes, I've been there. I've done it. Yep. Well, then again, I grew up as a Ford man. My dad, born 1914 and everything. He loved Fords. That's all he ever had was Fords. He had respect for the Dodge, for the Mopars and Dodge and everything. He was in World War II. And a lot of them vehicles that he relied on were Dodge. But then again, that's a little bit different than Mopar. That was back when Dodge, Chrysler, and everything, they were a little bit separate, just like Ford, Mercury, and Lincoln. They were separate back then. But he had a lot of respect for the Dodge too, especially the bigger trucks, the Deuce and the Halves, and everything. He liked those. A lot of respect. He always said they were good vehicles. Uh, GMs and Chevys, he had nothing really bad to say about them, but he was just like, well, they're easy to work on because you have to. And and that's all he would say. But yeah, all right. All right, Mopar. Now, so yeah, you kind of understand what I'm talking about then. Yeah. But look, a lot of it is in good humor too. Um because I'll tell you what, uh we will, it's kind of like being in the military. I was Army. I'll pick on the jarheads, Marines. I'll pick on the wingnuts, Air Force. I'll pick on the squids, Navy. And even the junior squids and squid wannabes, Coast Guard, and everything, we'll pick on each other. And they'll pick on me too. But it's good natured rivalry. Don't let anyone outside of us in the military pick on them because I will stand shoulder to shoulder with any wingnut, jarhead, squid wannabe, and I'll stand shoulder to shoulder, back to back with them and defend their ass in a heartbeat. And after we're done, I'll probably say the same thing that some other asshole said to him that started the fight. So, it's kind of the same. You know this with all us gearheads. We each like our certain brand, but there is um, respect for somebody that wants to get in there and get their hands dirty. We'll pick on each other. And we will say things. But when it comes down to it, if somebody's building a Chevy hot rod, I'll hop in there and help them. In the meantime, I'll be saying, yeah, this is real fucking easy to work on because you're going to have to do it again in 3 months. That's why they make it so easy. We'll just pick on each other. Well, you know what? Yes, I understand that. Yeah, you'll work on anything too. A chicken, a duck, a Chevy, a Toyota. I'm pretty sure that a chicken and a Chevy have a lot in common too. But again, you know what I'm saying. That's it's good nature. And the thing is too, there's a lot of respect. Uh, like I said, between military branches with each other, it's the same thing with us gearheads. What are you trying to do? What do you want to do? Damn, you doing this? That's pretty cool. And honestly, nowadays, even the rice burners, you're trying to do what with what? Hey, that's pretty fucking cool, man. That's a good idea. You want some help? I'm here for you. You know, we just want to get our hands dirty and do something that's really not supposed to be done. And let's see if it works. And when it works, it's kind of like, there we go. We knew we could do it. That's a pretty cool thing. And I'll tell you what, a lot of the people that I've met here online, and a lot of people that I follow, Bear Rose Garage, my God, Mopar Joe, just Mopar Joe, um, 318 will run, Slantfish 65, all these guys. I mean, they are just wonderful. And yes, again, we will pick on each other a little bit, but everyone is just so damn helpful. It's just they are great guys. I can't say enough about them. I'm a friggin' idiot, and yet they still talk highly of me. First Responder Garage, I can't say enough about him. He is awesome. If you haven't checked out his channel, my God, he is awesome. Sayer Diesel Garage. These guys are just awesome. Even Uncle Tony, to be honest with you, he's into this more for as a business, and if you understand that, you'll understand where he's coming from. But he has so much knowledge, he really does. All right. With that being saying, with that being said, there's a difference between knowledge and what you can actually do. He has a little bit of trouble with that, but hey, he tries things, you know. And the thing I like about Uncle Tony, and I followed him. I mean, I remember reading when he used to write for the Hot Rod magazines back in the 80s. I remember reading a lot of his articles. And he has the knowledge. And the thing is, a lot of things he does doesn't work out because he's trying something that shouldn't be done. And he's trying to do it with old parts and people like me who has no money. Here, use this old shit. Here's what you can do to get by and make it work a little bit. And to be honest with you, if he didn't beat on the shit so much like he does, it would probably work for the normal people like me or you. Oh, yeah. Tim at 318 will run. Oh, awesome, dude. Awesome, awesome, awesome dude. Uh, really, really nice guy. And he's out there to have fun. And that's the biggest thing he puts out is I'm doing this to have fun. And if I can teach you along the way and show you what I'm doing, whether it's right or wrong, it's just it's fun. You know, that's part of my channel, and I don't just go with the automotive stuff. I do a lot of other things too, cast iron, camping, um, working with wood, building stuff. The whole point of my channel is get out there, get your hands dirty. You don't have to have all the tools and all the professional experience to do something. Get out there and do what you can do with what you have. Use what you have, use what's available, and do the best you can. If it works and does what you want it to do, you've done good. The next time you do it, you can make it look better. You can make it work better. But just get out there and do it. Don't sit at home and look at all these big channels with people that have unlimited amount of money and are building. My God, I worked with aircraft. I actually designed two things for NASA. Okay, ion propulsion system for NASA years ago, and I also worked on the guidance system for the Patriot missile. Okay, when they figured out it was fucked up to begin with. All right, I was part of the team that fixed that. We worked in white rooms, in clean rooms. Yeah, that was fucking rocket science. Building an engine and stuff like that. It's nice to have a white clean room with $2 or $3 million worth of equipment and 40 acres of space, so everything is nice and clean and organized. You don't have to have it though. You can get by with building something in your back fucking yard. I don't know how many Harley engines I built inside my house, in my bedroom, in the kitchen. You know, uh, it- that's what I'm saying is do what you can do. Are they going to last 100,000 miles? Probably not, but it'll get you from point A to point B for the next 2 years until you can do something better or learn better. You know what I mean? Do what you can. There's a lot of things. Just this friggin' porch I'm sitting at. This porch I'm sitting in right now. All this right here. This is all old reclaimed wood that was going to get thrown out, burnt, whatever. I repurposed it. Why? Because do I like using somebody's cast off shit? No. It's because I couldn't afford to buy brand new fucking wood. Um, this whole back porch is closed in. It has windows now. It has siding on it. This whole back porch cost me about $500. And this is recent money right now, within the last year and a half. Cost me $500 to do. All right. If I was to have to pay for all brand new wood and everything, it's at least $6,000 in wood. If I had to pay somebody else to do it for me, I'm looking at least $10,000 or $12,000 for somebody to do this with brand new wood. Hire somebody. I did it for $500. Now, if I'd paid somebody to do it, they probably could have had it done in about 2 weeks. It took me almost a friggin' year. There's a trade-off. And there's still work that needs to be done, and no, it's not perfect, but it works. Oh my God, you did a Ford FMX? Phew. Kudos to you, my friend. Kudos to I'm not a transmission guy, so anyway, those are one of the magical things to me. My brother-in-law has been doing transmissions for over 30 years. He is a friggin' he ripped apart 2 of my transmissions for me in his garage, rebuilt them, put them back together overnight. Well, I got shit-faced, passed out, and get up in the morning with the hangover, and he's like, "It's done, put it back in." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Can I do it tomorrow?" "No, I need it out my garage now." Son of a bitch. I was expecting to at least get over the hangover before you had the fucker done for me, but no, he did. And one was was on my old Ford, which happened to be a manual transmission, but it was it was a German one. And nice transmission, hard to get parts for, very durable. One of the reasons why it's hard to get parts for, because the damn things never need to be rebuilt. I abused it. Another one was what the hell was it? I think it was a C6, a Ford C6 transmission. Common enough, but it had an overdrive on it, which made it a little bit more difficult. But still, and those things. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, if I can do rockets, I can do transmission. Yeah. Hmm. That's if you have the knowledge and the experience. I was never taught or paid attention on transmissions. Didn't care about them at the time. So yes, I understand what you're saying. Rockets, and it wasn't actually rocket. Like I said, it was an ion propulsion system, which isn't exactly a rocket. It's different. It uses it's more of, as much as I hate electronics, it uses electronically magnetic field to take ions. It charges heavy metal. We were using xenon gas, and it would charge the molecules in xenon gas and send them out. It's hard to explain, but a little bit different. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, very, very few moving parts on the ion engine. Just like a rocket, a straight rocket. Very few moving parts. Uh, and the part I designed was actually towards the end where there wasn't very many moving parts at all. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, and that's old glory past. I mean, hell, I don't want to sound. Yeah, I'm gonna sound like the boss. Glory days. Glory day. God, it sucks. I am past my prime. I am on the downhill slope, and it's getting steeper every fucking day. Oh, God. Ah, but hey, yeah, getting old sucks. It really does. But the only thing I can say is it's better than the alternative. The alternative is I wouldn't be here to get old and bitch about it. I'd be dead and it wouldn't matter. But with that being said, too, when I was in the military, I already got my ass blown up and killed once, so I didn't particularly care for being dead back then, so I got over it. And I'm here. But I do have a lot of friends that aren't here anymore. What's up, buddy? Okay, my nephew. Nephew just walked in. But yeah, at least when I wake up in the morning and everything hurts, and I really hate having to get up at dark 30 in the morning and go to work. Every now and then it hits me. It could be worse. I might not have the chance to do this anymore. So as long as I can still do it, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to bitch about it, but I do appreciate the fact that I can still do it. You got that right. Life is good, even when it sucks. Yeah, it's good. And as much as I bitch, moan, and complain every now and then, I'm very lucky. I am very fortunate. I have a really good woman that loves me, puts up with me. I don't know why. I don't deserve it. And I have kids that love me and grandkids that just absolutely adore me. And again, I don't know why, but it makes you feel good. And I do my best, to teach them and pass on this old knowledge that I have, whether it be cooking with cast iron, taking care of cast iron, working on a vehicle, using your hands, using what you have, fixing things. God, my, I would say up until recently, my youngest grandson, and now when I say recently, my youngest grandson right now is 4 months old. But his next oldest brother is 2 years old. And they only live 4 houses down from me. And Darius is always running down here going, "This is broke. Pop Up can fix it. Pop Up can fix it. Let me bring it to Pop Up." And God, is as annoying as that can get every now and then, it's kind of like, your dad knows how to, no, pop up, you fix, pop up, you fix. As annoying as that can be, I'll fix it. It makes me feel good. And he'll sit there and he'll watch me. Today, when I got home from work, I had to work on my, on part of the gate that I made for my backyard. And he was right there. As soon as I got home, he was already here with my wife, his nanny. And as soon as I walked in, he's pop up, pop up. What are you doing? So well, I got to work on the gate. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna help. And he was right there. He was watching everything I did. He was handing me the tools. He was handing me the screws and everything I needed. And his face lit up. He was just so happy to help me. And that makes it worth it. That makes I know God hates me. He just keeps me around for comedic relief. That's the only reason why I'm still here, but the hell with him. It makes it just seeing my grandson and what I've the willingness to learn and follow me around and so interested in what I do and he wants to learn. That just makes me so happy. I'm passing that knowledge along to when I was growing up. My dad was my hero. Uh, it's funny because I've seen my grandkids do the same thing. Pop up can fix anything. I used to say that to my dad. You know, anyone had something that was broke or needed help. My dad. Go see my dad. My dad can fix anything. And I know, I know it irritated the hell out of him at times. But you know what? He would do it. He'd at least do his best. Thank you. Thank you, Mo Barnett. Yes, I know I am blessed. That's what I was saying. As much as I bitch, moan, and complain, it uh, it is awesome. I am very fortunate. A lot of people don't have that. They don't have somebody, whether it be their own kids, their grandkids, their fathers, mothers, brothers, uncles, whatever. A lot of people don't have that support. Somebody there. And when I say support, I mean somebody there that just loves them for who they are and is interested in what they can learn and just finds them fascinating. I've been real fortunate that way. Again, like I said, at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, when somebody calls you and says, I'm broke down, can you help me? Can you make this? Can you fix it so I can get home? It it becomes a pain in the ass, but when you think about it and you ask them, well, where's your husband? Where's your boyfriend? Well, they said I'm on my own. They won't help me. Where's your mom? Where's your dad? Where's your brother? Where's everyone else? Well, I have no one else to turn to but you. As annoying as that can be, it's nice to know that somebody thinks enough of you, not to use you, but they know they can rely on you and they trust you to help them. It's yeah, again, I'll bitch moan and complain about it, but it makes me feel good to help others and to know that they trust me enough to help them. Again, there are people that will take advantage of it, and those in my older age now, I've kind of cut them off. But I'm talking about people that really have nowhere else or no one else to turn to. And they don't always call when they just need help. They also show up and go, hey, I ain't got nothing for you except my company, but I'll do your dishes, I'll do this, I'll help you out, I'll cook dinner for you, I'll do whatever. You know, it's those that reciprocate and give whatever they can to help you back. That's the biggest thing. You know, I do have a few rich friends, wealthy friends. They could pay for whatever they want. And when I do something for them, they offer to pay me. And it's like, you know, again, this is why I'm a fucking idiot. I'm like, no, you don't have to pay me. Help me when I need help. That's all. And they have no problem doing that. Most of the time, they'll pay. You know, if I'm in trouble, they'll throw out the cash to help me get out of whatever, you know. And I'm not talking legal, but you know, whatever I need. Here, you need $1,000 to, you know, get the parts you need or whatever. Here you go. I owe you that. I'm like, no, you don't, because I only did $300 worth of work. Well, this is interest because you did it a year ago. Okay, thank you, appreciate it. I still try to pay him back. What I'm talking about is the person has absolutely nothing. You know, they're struggling. They're eating ramen noodles on a daily basis because that's all they can afford. But they're doing the best they can. Their bills are paid, or at least close to it. And then all of a sudden something happens. They need some help. I'll be there for them. I'll help them out. Then they'll turn around and no, they won't offer me $1,000 to fix my problems. But what they will do is give me a ride to work 1 or 2 days because that's all they can afford to. They'll come over and they might even just hand me a beer or hand me a tool while I'm working on something. But they're here for me. They're doing the best they can do. And you know what? It's costing them more time and effort. They're giving more than that person with $1,000. It doesn't matter because they have $2,000 more in the other pocket. You know, they're those people are actually giving me more than somebody else that can afford it can. You know, and that's I've also found this out too. The people that have nothing or very little are more generous than the people that have everything. And I think that's because they understand what it's like to have nothing. And they know the struggle. And they are a lot more generous. They might not be able to give you as much as somebody that's well off, but they give you more from the heart. Justin Hill. Hey, buddy. How you doing? It's good to see you again. And I hate to tell you this, Justin, but I've had coffee tonight. I'm just tired. Um, Maybe in a little bit because I finished my coffee. I'll have some beers and I'll start rambling more. Although I think I'm doing a pretty good fucking job of just rambling on coffee and tiredness right now. But and damn it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I smoke like a chimney, guys. And part of that is too, in case you didn't know, I subcontract to Philip Morris. So it's called job security. Life expectancy goes downhill, but in the meantime, while I'm still alive, I'll have a fucking job. Oh. Well, gentlemen, I will tell you this much. It's been 4 times again I've tried to do this. Let me see if it'll work. No, I don't know what the hell's going on. Oh, here we go. Ah, there we go. If anyone has a computer with a camera on it like this and you want to hop in, what you can do is split screen. All you have to do is on that last comment I just put up, click on the link. That'll put you in. You can hop in and yak at me face to face. And it's all up to you guys. I finally figured out again how to do it. I've been having trouble with it for the last month or so. Um, Part of the problem is this old computer I have right here, although it's nice, the battery is totally dead on it. So whenever it gets unplugged, it loses everything because even the little backup battery in it is gone. So it's kind of like every time it gets unplugged for more than 30 minutes, it's like getting a brand new computer. I have to put everything back in it because it loses everything. Oh, Jesus. All right, Mopar Nut, you're in New Jersey. I am so sorry, my friend. Originally I'm from Massachusetts. Um, One, two, three. Yeah, it's about 3 levels down from New Jersey. You're 3 levels worse than where I grew up. I'm in Virginia now, which is who even currently it's still 10 times better than fucking Massachusetts or New Jersey. Sorry to say that. I'm not picking on you. You're where you're at. You originally from New Jersey? Did you grow up there? Because like I said, I grew up in New England. I grew up in Massachusetts, and it's beautiful country. It really is. It's like being from New York. Upstate New York is absolutely gorgeous. Massachusetts, New Hampshire, all that area is absolutely gorgeous. It's if there wasn't any people there, it would be a perfect place to live. It's the people that suck. And I'm even talking about my own fucking family. That's just why I moved 650 miles away. I'm the youngest out of 16. I have a shitload of family up there, and I really don't like a whole lot of them. Oh, you poor bastard. In the South Bronx. Yeah, I understand that. I'll be honest with you, even growing up in Massachusetts, I kind of grew up in the country. And my folks, my dad, He was born in the backwoods of Maine, 32 miles up in Masardis, Aroostook County, 32 miles this side of the Canadian border. And my mom, well, she was born in Melrose, Massachusetts, but that was back in the early 1900s before it got developed. And so they were pretty much country folk to begin with. Yeah, that's yeah, unfortunately, even here in Virginia where I'm at, in the suburbs of Richmond, it's there used to be so much more uh open wild area around here in the last 15 years. You know, same as everywhere else. They cut the trees down, they filled the swamps up, and they built condos and everything else. And it's just the city's closing in. 13 colonies are not free. Yeah, neither are the rest of the 47 states. Wait, that's a little bit too much. That would be 60. Fuck it. I'm bad at math. Call me Joe Biden. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's funny. Well, you're a little bit older than I am, but I know you've seen it. It's gone downhill. Slowly, slowly, slowly. It's gotten worse. What our fathers had fought for in World War II to prevent has slowly started to take over. It's it's terrible. And the funny thing is we have it so good here. We really do in the United States that that's the problem. We have it so good we don't understand what real hardship is, what real strife and struggle is. And I know me personally, I just want to be left alone. Let me do what I want to do as long as I'm not hurting anyone and I'm, pretty much obeying the laws, basically. Just leave me alone. Don't regulate and don't micromanage my fucking life. Let me do what I want. Let me live the way I want to live. That's all I ask. Just leave me the fuck alone. Yeah, same with my dad. He was Christ. He was a truck driver in World War II. He actually he joined the military in 1936 and got out right before 1940, and then 2 years later Pearl Harbor, and he went back in. But he drove for the Red Ball Express, is what they called it back then. But yeah, it was and my God, yeah. Speaking of uncles and everything, him and his brother back during Prohibition. His brother had an old got a hold of an old World War I Jenny biplane, and they put floats on it. And living 32 miles away from the Canadian border, they used to fly that damn thing up to Canada and fill the floats with Canadian whiskey. Then they would fly it back, land it on the field, grassy field right next to a lake, and there'd be people waiting there, and they would pump the whiskey out. Then they'd push the plane back on the back out into the lake. They'd take off and make another trip. They used to do about 2 trips a day, and they could carry about I think he said it's 600 gallons of whiskey. It might have been 300. I was a kid when he was telling me this story, but I think he said it was 600, 300 gallons per each float. And so by the time they got done with that old thing, the pontoons on that old plane had more patches on it than it had pontoons. But well, Uncle Tony has a whole lot of big habit of telling about himself. Most of my stories are about my dad. Not too many are about myself. But my dad had a real interesting life, and he was a good man. He was a good man. Wasn't a perfect man, and he definitely wasn't a saint. But he was a good man at heart. He was, and these are things, although somewhat illegal, but this is shit you could get away with back, yeah, basically 100 years ago. If my dad was still alive, he would be 110 years old this June. He'd be 110 years old. My God. Well, even us, sir, growing up, didn't think anything about hopping in the back of a pickup truck and going down the road, even a major road. Didn't think anything about sitting in the very back of a station wagon. No seats, let alone any seatbelts. Nowadays, you try that, and hell, you're going to end up in jail for child endangerment. Christ, if you smoke a cigarette in a vehicle with a child, same thing. You you can actually get cited, if not go to jail for that shit. It's kind of like, stop. I know it's not right. Don't get me wrong. I know it's not right, but I don't need Big Brother telling me that and then penalizing me for it. You know? Christ almighty. 8, 10 years old. Get home from school. Nobody's there. Nobody's at the house. I'm home, for 3, 4 hours by myself. Leave a 16-year-old home alone for an hour. Child services are going to get involved if somebody calls. Yeah, I know the Western world is not the whole world, but that's where I live and that's what I have to deal with. I don't mean to sound like your typical American, but the way I look at it, United States is pretty fucking huge. 3,000 miles coast to coast. That's a big country. I've seen most of it because I'm a truck driver, and I've enjoyed it. And every time I've been overseas and out of this country, to be honest with you, somebody's tried to fucking kill me. I've been shot 3 times and blown up once. So I'm kind of happy, just staying in America. Oh my God, yes. Same here. Buying cigarettes for your mom. Yep, I used to do that. No questions asked. As long as I bought her brand, because back then, uh, at the little store we went to, they knew what she smoked. I couldn't go in there and they would sell me Marlboros or something. I had to buy Virginia Slim Light 120s. That's what my mom smoked. And it was 35 cents a pack. She'd send me down there with the dollar so I could get her 2 packs and a Matchbox, Matchbox car, one of the little Hot Wheels cars. That was my treat for going to get her 2 packs of cigarettes. And the guy behind the counter, God, I can't remember his name now. I knew it for years. If you'd asked me 10 years ago, I could still tell you his name. Now I've forgotten it. But yeah, I'd walk in there. Yeah, my mom wants 2 packs of cigarettes. That's all I had to say. He'd give me the Virginia Slim Light 120s. And then he'd look at me and go, "What car do you want?" And I'd pick one out. There you go. It's $1. I think it was actually $1.03 with tax, but he never charged the 3 cents. But yeah, they never questioned. Now, the one time I went in there and I had to get some cigarettes for my aunt who smoked something a little bit different. I think she was smoking menthols, some sort of menthols at the time. I think it might have even been Salem's. I'm not sure. He's like, "That's not your mom's cigarettes." I was like, "No, that's from my Aunt Edna." Who? My Auntie Edna. That's your mom's sister, right? Yes. Okay. Not a problem. I better not find out that it wasn't for her. I was like, "No, sir. Nope. I'm telling you the truth." So when I started stealing cigarettes, I had 2 fucking choices to get: Virginia Slim Light 100s or some sort of, I think, like I said, I think it was Salem menthols. Neither one I friggin' liked at the time. So again, I didn't really start smoking until I joined the military, and I was, Christ, almost 20 years old. I joined when I was 19. I didn't start smoking until I was 20. I got my ass blown up and killed when I was 21, 22. Like I said again, I got over it. It was still a son of a bitch trying to get a beer, though. Here I was. Pretty much got my ass killed. And I was still having a hard time to buy a beer. Oh, it could be worse, though. What they're doing to the kids nowadays in the service, especially ones that have been there for the last 20 fucking years when they joined as kids. The government don't give 2 shits about them. Treat them like shit. You're fine, you're great. You're the best we have. You're the brightest, the smartest, the best we have. Here you go. Go kill someone because we asked you to. Oh, you're done? Oh, you're a piece of shit and you're on a watch list because we can't trust you. You need help? Oh, no. Too bad. You're on your own. Suck it up, Sally. Move on. And for years, too, I had a problem with the way our educators were treated. I really did. With the pay and the shit they had to go through, I really had a problem with that. You're trying to teach our younger generation how to be good people, give them knowledge. Well, that kind of changed within the last 20 years too, because I don't want them teaching the kids to be socialists. I don't want them, to teach them to be gender fluid. Let them make their own decisions. Don't push it. So I have no problem with the way teachers are treated nowadays. They brought it on themselves. Fuck them. Especially when they're saying, hey, parents don't have a say and shouldn't know what we're teaching the kids nowadays. Bullshit. Bullshit. I remember some really good teachers, some really good educators that were hampered, yes, by rules and everything. They couldn't quite, you know, teach you what they wanted to. But the problem was they didn't want to teach you to be a socialist or to be gender fluid or to not have toxic masculinity or to be feminine. They were trying to teach you just the opposite, but they weren't allowed to. Yeah, teachers union went the wrong way in my opinion. Really did. And for the longest time, a lot of teachers I knew felt the same way. They didn't care for the teachers union. They're like, no, it's not good for this country. It's not good for the people. But they were slowly, people that thought like that, teachers, educators that thought that way, they were slowly replaced. And now it's not just the union, it's the actual educators themselves. Not all, but a majority. Well, same thing here. I'm not against unions. If it wasn't for unions, a lot of us would still be making 30 cents an hour, not have any paid time off, not have any vacation, not have any, um, you know, would basically be indentured servants. But now that all the laws have been passed, federal, state laws that are for workers and everything, the union themselves, I don't want to say they're not needed because they are. If they were to be wiped out, trust me, it would be one of the few times you ever saw all these fucking laws be repealed. But it's the threat of the union and what they can do when people get together and have a voice and a representative. But in the meantime, we've been on, even as bad as the economy is right now and has been, the unions do serve a purpose. If it's only a threat, they do serve a purpose. Oh, yeah. I mean, corruption, no, very easy. Very easy. And it's also so ingrained in it, in the union. It's not hard. Where I work, company I work for, oh, and it was the younger generation too. The ones that felt like They didn't have a voice. They didn't know what to do. They voted in a goddamn union. And of course, it's Teamsters. And being from New England, I grew up with unions. My dad was part of the union, railroad. My brothers, my brother-in-laws, they were part of the Teamsters as well. But I, this company is really good. It treats their people fair. There was no need for a friggin' union. It was just mainstream media, social media, everything got in these guys' heads and said, hey, you're being shit on. You're a worker. You need to have a union. No, they didn't. And you know what? I'm not part of the union. I refused. And so far, all these guys, you know what they're doing? They're taking roughly $20 a week out of the paycheck for jack shit. They're not getting any more benefits than what I'm getting. But in order to be in this union, too, they have to do more work than what I have to do, believe it or not. Isn't that a kick in the ass? Usually it's the other way around. They put up with more bullshit than I do. I can go straight into the terminal manager's office, talk to him one-on-one. I can bitch at him, cuss him out, and everything else because it's one-on-one. And I can get shit changed, too. I've been at my job long enough, too. They also respect what I have to say. And they know I know my shit. So I kind of like that. That I can go in there and talk to the top dog and get shit changed and happen in a heartbeat. These guys have to go through a union meeting, have the shop steward go in there, discuss with the terminal manager and the big bosses and everything. And they also have to have 3 or 4 other guys, lawyers, and shit like that in there with them. And then it takes them 3 months to get shit done. I walk in there, cuss them out. They cuss me out. We argue, we fight. Shit gets done. Then we go out and have a fucking beer. Yeah, it just, like I said, it irks me. I didn't want the union. I didn't see a need for it. There is no need for it. And to be honest with you, our local Teamster union that's in here is not a strong union to begin with. Teamsters themselves are strong, yes. But our local is really weak. And the sad part is, if they never voted the union in, they would be better off. We all would be better off with what we wanted. All we had to do was talk to them. Because again, where I'm working, part of it is union, the other part's not. There is absolutely no difference. There's no difference in pay. There's no difference in benefits. Anything that you need to take care of your family is exactly the same straight across the board. The only difference is they do twice the work I do, and I'm non-union. They get fucked with more than I do, and I'm not in the union. And all it was is they do through social media and everything. They just got it in their heads. We don't have a voice. They won't listen to us. They're lying to us. They won't do anything for us. Well, have you given them a fucking chance? No, you haven't. I did. I have. And I got everything you guys wanted and more. And I don't have $50 a week coming out of my fucking paycheck. So, hey, whatever. Yeah. Well, look, again, I'm not against the union. I'm glad they're around. They are needed. Even to this day, they are needed. If only for the threat of them coming in. That's usually what keeps everyone, behaving, where these big corporations won't take advantage of their workers because there's always a threat of the workers being unionized. So we still need that. The problem is when you don't really need it, when you have a good company that treats their workers well, you don't need a fucking union. All that does is take money away from the workers and the company itself. And so that $1 a year raise has now turned into a 25-cent a year raise because the union is taking money from the workers and taking money from the company. And that's not a good situation. Now, if you have a company that's being taking advantage of their workers, well, you have two choices. This is America. You can get another job in most places. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes these big corporations, you can't get another job. So that's when you might need the union to come in and go, hey, you're doing this wrong. Once you've exhausted every other opportunity, labor boards, everything else. I just don't get it. Most people nowadays, they just want, I want to do 40 hours worth of work on a good week and get paid for 60. Or I want to do 20 hours worth of work and get paid for 40. Whatever analogy you want to work in there. That just seems to be the way it is. Where I'm working, here's a good example. 15 years ago, one of the areas I worked at, it was nothing. It was a regular day for me to put in 16, 18 hours and pull 20 loads, just me. 8 other guys, 7 other guys I was working with, pull 20 loads a day. It's short haul, local. The cigarette business has gone downhill so far. The guys that were doing the exact same job I did 20 years ago were bitching about having to pull 5 loads. Some of them refused to pull the 5th load. Now, I don't know if you're know anything about being a truck driver, but that is absolutely unheard of when you have a regular job and you're not an owner operator, you're a company driver, to refuse to do something. And especially when you have 8 hours to do 5 loads. And each load takes about an hour. So basically, they only wanted to work 5 hours out of the 8. It just, and then they think they're working their asses off. Right now, the section I'm working in, I still move 18 to 20 trailers a day. And that's in a 9-hour period. Six years ago, I was moving 40 trailers in the same amount of time. So it's gone downhill big time. I'm doing half the work I used to do. I'm sitting there going, this ain't shit. I can do this. I'm not running around like I used to. I'm not in a rush like I used to be. To me, this is easy. I was out a couple days, had a few guys that covered me. They're sitting there, how do you do this? How do you keep up with it? They're trying to kill me. Like, really? Jesus Christ, you should have been here 7, 8 years ago. You wouldn't have made it the first 3 hours. Unreal, unbelievable. Mopar, give me 1 second. I'm out of coffee. I've been yakking. My throat is dry. I'm actually going to grab a beer. Give me 1 second. It's only right here behind, the computer. But where I have everything set up, I have to take the headphones off too. Oh my God. I'm back. No, sorry, all that grunting and groaning and everything. Again, old injuries, cold weather, and the fact I'm out of shape is catching up to me. I got a friggin' knee brace on right now, and my back is friggin' killing me. It hurts to move at the moment. So I don't mean to bitch about that. At least I can still move, but my God. That was almost, at this point in time, that's kind of bringing a little bit of tears to my eye, It's funny. When I was conceived, my father was 52 years old. I'll be 58 this year. The grandkids were over all day today. As much as I enjoy them, I couldn't have a full-time kid living here. God bless my folks. At their age, especially after, they went through 15 before me. I was number 16. It's probably they didn't know any better and they just got used to it. And again, probably figured God hated them as well. But God love them. God bless them. How the fuck they ever put up with me? I couldn't keep up with the 6-year-old right now. And my dad loved it. God, he was so full of energy. So was my mom. Both of them, endurance, they had endurance. And both of them, my God, they loved being outside. They loved camping. They loved the outdoors. As much as I love the outdoors too, no, no, I don't have the energy. I don't have the endurance to keep up with the frigging kids. Oh, you were You were 52 when you had your daughter. God bless you, sir. God bless you. When I was 52, both the kids were gone. They already moved out. They yep, on their own. I was sitting here with the wife going, "Hey, we can run around naked and chase each other." She's like, "I really don't want me either. I don't want to either. Let's just watch fucking TV and pass out on the couch." That's probably why I didn't have any fucking kids when I was 52. We're both too damn tired and just sitting here going, watch TV and pass out on the couch. Yeah. Still the. I got you. Oh, hey, look, same here. I don't believe in abortion. But with that being said, I'm not against it again. Me, it's a personal choice, just like a lot of things. You can have your opinion. If you don't believe in what I do, that's fine. You can let me know. You can explain to me your opinion. Don't force it on me. I believe every life is sacred. And this is coming from a man that has taken lives. Okay? And especially children, innocent. They have no choice. It wasn't their fault. You decided to create them. So, no, I don't believe in abortion either. But I'm not going to get a law that says you can't have one. I will do my damnedest to talk you out of it or send you to somebody else that might. But ultimately, that's your choice. Because again, too, I do believe in God and an afterlife. You will have to answer for that to a higher power than me. Because I can't do shit to you or for you. I can't make you sleep better or sleep worse at night. You have to deal with your own feelings, your own choices, whether right away or later on in the future, or even after this life is over. You will have to deal with the choices you made. I'm going to have to deal with them. With that being said, though, even if I vehemently disagree with something, the last thing I want is to have a law that forces you to do something you don't want to do or not to do something that you want to do. Not my place to do that. Yeah, you can get that way above my pay grade. That's it exactly. I might not agree with it, but I also understand. Depending on your age, your circumstances, where you grow up, everyone makes mistakes too. Everyone makes bad choices. What you do with your life afterwards too makes a big difference. So I'm not going to ostracize somebody that had an abortion and say you're a piece of shit and I don't want anything to do with you. It depends on what you do with your life afterwards too. I will give you that. You have a chance to redeem yourself here. You're going to have to answer for that later on in life or after death to God. Your heart, your soul, everything. You will have to deal with that, not me. So I'm not going to make your life any more miserable than what it's going to be. You made a mistake, even if you don't think it's a mistake. I do. I'm not going to judge you for that. Far be it from me to do that. You ask me about it, I'll tell you my opinion, how I feel about it, then we can move on. And honestly, I won't hold it against you if you are a good person other than that. Oh, exactly. We're all sinners. We all screw up. We all make mistakes. Well, most of us do, I just happen to be one of that few ones that imperfect. And oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. I can't wait to look in the mirror. I get better looking each day. To know me is to love me. I must be a hell of a man. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best that I can. You know, like I said, so for most people, I understand they're not perfect. And those that think they are, honestly, piss those of us off that actually are perfect. Oh Jesus. I that is the part I really miss. You know, we could disagree. We could even argue and fight, debate and everything. And it would always come down to, well, we're just going to have to agree to disagree, but I still love you, man. You know, we're still friends. We can still get along. We have more in common than we do with our differences. And even, to be honest with you, even let's say casual acquaintances, we disagree on this part. Okay, I'll listen to what you have to say. Maybe you can convince me. Maybe you can't. Give me the same respect in return. Listen to what I have to say. And yes, we might have to come to an agreement that we're going to disagree. And so, therefore, it's a moot point to talk about it anymore. But other than that, let's go out and have a beer. We're still friends. Because I have a different point of view than you do doesn't mean we have to be enemies. Doesn't mean we can't talk to each other anymore. I miss those days. And I don't understand. I literally, I don't understand how you can be so pig-headed that if we don't agree on every single thing, you don't want anything to do with us, with me. I just don't get it. Because part of my problem with that is, I was being a smartass when I said I was perfect in every way. Don't tell the wife I said that though. She still thinks I'm perfect. But here's the thing: I'm not always right. And you know what? If you can make a case, if we disagree on a point, no matter what it is, if you can make a case for it, I'll listen. You might change I might learn something and I might change my perspective. I might change my mind. But if I'm not willing to listen to you because you think differently than me, one, I'm never going to learn anything. Two, you're never going to have a chance of changing my mind. And three, and this is very important, even if it's a core value, that you adamantly will never change your mind against. You'll never flop to the other side. You listen to the other side. That way you get information and know why they think the way they do, why they feel the way they do, why they have this opinion that is opposite of yours. That gives you knowledge. So that next time you debate somebody with that opinion, you know their mindset and you can come up with a better argument and maybe, well, actually, more than maybe, you will have a chance to sow seeds of doubt in their perspective and educate them and change them to the way you think. A Muslim that is an atheist. That, okay, that just blew my fucking mind. Um, Again, I know it shouldn't. I mean, I know, I know, uh, and we're talking race, not religion. Jews that are atheists. That actually blows my mind still, but I know them. But then again, with the Muslim, I was over in Desert War, Desert Storm. No, I met Muslims. It was actually my first real encounter with the Muslim faith and tradition and everything, and so that kind of blows my mind. Well, yes, a rabbi will. The actual little literal translation to English, whatever, of rabbi is teacher. I probably have that wrong. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? A rabbi was not necessarily a priest um, as far as Catholicism goes. They were a teacher, they were an instructor, they were somebody that taught things. And part of the teaching is you need knowledge. You need to know both sides. You need to know as much as you can. Knowledge is power. Knowledge helps you through life. It's very important. It's actually more important than money or wealth. Not quite as important as health, but it's right up there because the more knowledge you have, especially when it comes to health, the more healthy you'll be. Knowledge in general is the greatest power on this earth. And how do you get knowledge? It's not by preaching to the choir, you know, not by sitting there in a little bubble with the same thoughts and ideas going round and round and round, no matter how good they are. You need somebody to interject something to disturb it, to make you think and grow your mind. You need a little bit of discord. Otherwise, you'll never grow. We can bring this back to, yeah, okay, I understand your last text there. I got you. Um, or post, I should say. But that's kind of what I was getting the feeling of and what I was wondering about. But anyway, what I was saying about knowledge and having a little bit of discord and a little bit of argument going in there goes back to working with your hands, cars, wood, cooking, anything. If you ever tried something new and you did it right, pardon me, and you did it right the first time, It's a great feeling, and you probably impressed everyone. What did you actually learn? Well, maybe you got lucky. Maybe you just had a natural feel for it. Hard to tell. But you really didn't learn a whole lot. You did it, and you did it right. Now, if you try something new and you screw up the first time, you know what you learned? You didn't exactly learn how to do it, but you definitely learned how not to do it. That in itself was a teaching moment and a learning moment. And depending on the severity of that mistake, you probably won't do it again, or at least you'll be aware of what not to do. It got your mind thinking. I have learned so much more from my mistakes than I ever have by doing something correctly. If I do it correctly, it's just like, boom, it's done, over. Yep, hey, I did a good job. Look at me. But when I've screwed up, it's like, shit. All right, let me think this through. Where did I screw up? How did I screw up? All right. And how do I fix it? That's one of the biggest things, too. We are all human. And one of the biggest things with being a supervisor, being somebody in a leadership position, too, when you're looking at your subordinates, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to screw up. I don't want to make a mistake. I want to do everything perfect. That is not what your bosses are looking for, to be honest with you. Yes, they want you to do it perfect. Yes, they really do. But in order to get promoted, move up, and be a good leader and climb up the ladders and everything, they're more interested in not you doing it right every single time. They're more interested in, all right, you screwed up. How are you going to fix it? They want to see how you handle adversity because life is not perfect. Shit's going to happen. Things are going to go wrong. If you got somebody that 9 out of 10 times does everything right and perfect without any mishap, and then that one time something goes wrong and they lose it, and then things spiral out of control, they're not going to want you in a leadership position. They're going to take the second or third best behind you and promote them because they know how to deal with adversity and when things go wrong. That is what they're looking for. How do you recognize and fix your mistakes? Things got screwed up. What are you going to do to fix it? Do you have a plan already? That's why I say it's always good to have a plan A. If everything goes right, well, you sit back, have your coffee, smoke, watch a little bit of midget porn, and you're good to go. What do you do when things screw up? Do you freak out, flip out, and blame everyone else, or do you sit there and go, son of a bitch? Okay, we're going to go to plan B now because I already figured it out in case this happened. And we're going to do this, this, and this, and we're going to get it fixed and get it done. I got it under control. I have a plan. This is how things are going to work. This is how we're going to fix this. No problem. And you see that go through, then you can sit back, have your coffee, cigarette, and watch your midget porn. Yeah, you know, going back a couple of your little post here talking about Jesus. Seek and ye shall find, meaning always be in a learning mode. He is a human, was a carpenter tradesman. That's one of the things that I do like about the Catholicism, is that we didn't have although Jesus was a king, but he was very humble and he was a working class man. He was very poor. He worked with his hands. He grew up in a poor family. I mean, wasn't even middle class. He was lower middle class, very poor. The Son of God, the creator of the universe and everything, the almighty, all powerful, the Alpha and the Omega. His son did not come down as a pharaoh, a king, a nobleman. He didn't even come down to become a businessman, a trader, a well-to-do, wealthy individual. He was basically the scum of the earth, as far as money-wise goes, and importance in caste, social hierarchy, and everything goes. He was not only just a regular person, born to regular people. If we were to look at my social hierarchy, I would be better off than he is. Given comparative time scale here, I'd be more well off than him and his family. Now, his father was a craftsman. Joseph was a craftsman, very good at his work. Raised the Son of God to be the Son of Man. Very humble. Very humble. And that appeals to me. That's incredible. He was a laborer. He was a carpenter. He worked with his hands. He knew strife. He grew up in it. He knew want. He knew the worth of a hard day's labor for a pittance pay. That in itself is an awesome journey. That's the other thing. Another lesson. Jesus, the Son of God, never claimed that. He claimed he was the Son of Man. He also never demanded respect for himself. He earned it. He did what he did, and it just came. He earned it. And he also chastised those that followed him when they looked down upon somebody else, less fortunate or even more of a sinner. Now, he might not have condoned their actions, but he did not turn them away. Even the Gentiles. You, me. Unlike the Orthodox Jews, which have no use for you or me because we're Gentiles. We are unclean. Jesus never turned us away. If we came to him, he accepted us as who we are and tried to teach us and make us better. I respect that. Yes, exactly. He got respect from his acts and not his demands. Like, that's what I was trying to say. He never demanded it. He never demanded respect. He just went ahead and did what he did, and that earned respect. That's something I've had to explain, and I have said to certain of my quote unquote superiors, both in the military and in civilian life. Because in both scenarios, I am required to respect the position, but not the person that holds that position. All right. I can, I am required to respect the fact that you are my boss. I respect the position. Now, there's a big difference between respecting the position you hold and you as a person, as a boss, as whatever. That has got to be earned. That's not given. But because I respect the position, automatically I give you a chance to earn my respect for you holding that position. Oh yes. Again, I don't know if I tried to make that clear, but that was part of what I was saying earlier too. He would not turn us away, but he wouldn't chase us either. Now, he was not a Jehovah's Witness. Hi, can I interest you in the Watchtower? No, we have free will. If you come unto me, I will not cast you aside or turn you away, you know. But yeah, he wasn't going to go knocking door to door, especially to the Gentiles, those of the non-Jewish faith, and go, hey, let me tell you about my dad. Okay, he wasn't doing that. But if you came seeking him, he wouldn't turn you away just because you were not of the Jewish faith. No, 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 you're right. God does not need a hard sell. Well, between you and I, no, he don't. A lot of other people, they feel different, and and for those, it's no good to have a hard sell either. It's no good to force it down their throat because all you get is lip service, and they just do this because they have to. That's that's not the way. That's not the right way because it has to be from your heart. You have to have a true feeling. With that being said, yes, I believe in God. Again, I've been dead before. Okay. And I did not have that bright light experience. Okay. I was lost and I was walking in the woods, basically on a narrow path, and it was dark. And there were all these things grabbing at me, tugging on my legs, and I could feel them. And I kept walking because I could see a light in front of me. But it was weird because I came to this clearing, still nothing but darkness, and I could see the shapes moving through the trees and everything. But they were right at the edge of this light. And there was this big old stump, huge, like oak tree stump, and there was an orb on it. And it wasn't white, though. Had a greenish tinge. Yes, it was somewhat white, but had a greenish tinge to it. And I do remember looking into it. And I can't exactly remember everything I see. It's like I remember a memory, if that makes sense to you. It's kind of like I'm looking back at a memory that I had when I was a kid, and I'm remembering a memory, and that's what it feels like. It's like thrice removed from me, but I remembering this memory of me looking into this orb that was on this oak, and I could see obviously my life from when I was born to the point where I got my ass blown out. That I do remember remembering the memory of it being very vivid. That's a given. But I also could see what was going on in the future, and I just have glimpses of it because it was forgotten. And once I saw that, I didn't know what to do. But that's when in front of me, that's when the bright light came and the path opened up, and I didn't know what to do. I felt I should go towards it, but I had this hand on my shoulder, and it stopped me and it said, "No, not yet, not yet. It's still up to you, but you shouldn't right now. Don't, because what you saw to be won't be if you keep going. I won't stop you, but you shouldn't. And if you don't want to, it's your choice. If you don't want to, I will take you back." Like a fucking dumbass, I said, "Okay, I'll go back." Fuck me. Next thing I know, yeah, I saw the bright light again, and it was sheer goddamn fucking pain I was in. It was a searing ass fuck. My back was broken 3 places. I lost a kidney. My right foot was crushed. All my ribs were broke. My jaw was broke. My face was broke. My nose was broke. My head was eggshelled. Yeah, I went back to searing white fucking pain. Going, son of a bitch. Once again, Mark, you made the wrong fucking choice. But yeah, I got over it. Yeah, I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a reason. God hates me. He just wants to fuck with me. I say that in jest. I really do. Um, Jesus Christ, yeah. All I knew is I came back to pain. Um, but yeah. So when I say this, I do believe in God. I really do. Do I actually believe in the Judeo-Christian God? Not 100%. I know that there is something out there, a higher conscience or a higher consciousness, if you want to put it that way. I, the reason why I say this is because the Judeo Christian God has been tried to be explained, even though everyone said, well, you can't explain God, you can't explain this, that, or the other. But they have tried so hard, they've put limits on something that is limitless. I understand that they've tried to put it in perspective so that we could understand it, but I think they got it wrong. Not all of it. They got parts of it wrong. Just like I think the Muslims got parts of it wrong. Just like I think the Buddhists got parts of it wrong. Just like I think that the Gaia, natural spirits, have got part of it wrong. But I also think that every single religion here has gotten a little bit right. It's just that it's not a complete, it's not a whole, it's not complete. Every religion has a bit of it right. And they took those parts that they wanted to fit to themselves. It's been corrupted by the hand of man. They took those parts that they could relate to and said, this is it. And the parts I didn't like, that's wrong. So I think each religion has a little bit right, but they have a shitload wrong. That's why I say, yes, I believe in God. Yes, I believe in Jesus. But I don't think it's exactly the way that it's been described to us. I think they got some of it right, but I honestly believe they were missing or misinterpreted or got a lot of it wrong as well. Doesn't make me agnostic, doesn't make me an unbeliever, doesn't make me atheist. It's just I don't question God himself. I question man's interpretation of God. That's all I'm saying. And this coming from somebody that had an afterlife experience. You know what I'm saying? Kind of changed the way I was thinking, the way I was brought up. And I was brought up Baptist. And yeah. So, yeah, I, short answer, not only do I believe in God, I know in my heart there is a God. I just don't think it's the Judeo Christian God that's been described to us. That's my feeling. That's that's it. Faith. Um, look, faith is a good thing. I have experience in my mind, in the way I feel. I have experience. I have no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. That's why I say there's no doubt in my mind that there is a God, a higher power. There's something out there, and it's a full consciousness greater than ourselves. My doubt comes from how it's been explained in the Judeo Christian way. I don't think it's right. That we're missing way too much. We're not, and I don't think we ever could completely envelop and explain God. I have no doubt there's a God. There's no faith to it. It to me, it's an it's just a simple fact. There is a God. There is an afterlife. Um, that's all there is to it. So for me, there is no faith. It's a given. It's gone beyond faith. It's gone beyond. I believe this because I was told to, and I have faith, even though I can't. Bullshit. I was there. um, there ain't no faith on my part. It's to me, it's a given fact. Again, the only question I have and the only doubt I have is not with God Himself. It's with the teachings here on earth. Again, like I said, corrupted by the hand of man. And I'm not saying a lot of it's on purpose or to be misguided. It's just that try to explain the unexplainable. It's kind of hard to do. It really is. I can't even. I was there. I can't explain it. I can't get it out. Don't. I'm not articulate enough. And even if I was, I doubt if I could do it. It just there's a whole lot I glossed over. That was just a simple story. Quick, easy, simple. Didn't even go into the feelings. Didn't go into the peace, the awesomeness, the the fulfillment that I felt at the time. Uh, the understanding I had at the time, which I lost. And that's something that bothers me the most is the understanding and the knowledge that I know I had, but it's gone. It was gone the moment I woke up in pain. As soon as I came back, it was it was gone. But the echo, the shadow, the echo is still there. The feeling that I knew something that's gone now. Yeah, you got some good words here, man. Our right our rights are inalienable. Period. Man cannot take what they have not given. This is the only country in existence of the world to make rights untouchable by man. Yeah, you know what? Really, it is. It's our founding fathers extremely intelligent, good intentions too. They weren't perfect, but they had the right idea. They understood something that was ingrained in all of us, and it was an inalienable right, God given rights, something that is just given to us that no matter what laws you pass, no matter what, these are things that no man, and when I say man, no one in humankind can actually take away from you because they didn't give them to us. We were born with it. We were created, born, given, as much as nature, God, whatever, was a given right. That's all there is to it. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, and I'm not sure how to take it. You will be back there. We spend more time dead than we do alive. Yeah, I understand that, but to be honest with you, I'm not in that big of a fucking hurry to get back there. Um, as much as I kid about it, I really didn't like it the first time. I'm not ready for it yet. Eventually, I know I will be. And like you said, and here's the thing too. I do believe I was given a second chance because there's something I'm supposed to do. To be honest with you, I'm really not in a fucking hurry to do it either. You know, uh, I'm gonna milk this job for as long as I fucking can. Because last thing I want to do is go, hey God, you gave me a second chance. You want me to do this? All right, let me knock this out. Because then why the fuck would he let me stay here any longer? So no, I'm gonna milk this out to the very end. I kind of enjoy being alive at the moment. I'm actually halfway kidding here. Actually, no. I'm only quarter of the way kidding. 3/4 of the way, yeah, no. No. If God has a purpose for me, good. Good. He's the Alpha and the Omega. He's been here before time even started. So he shouldn't be in a rush. That's a good thing. Because I sure as fuck ain't in any rush to complete the assignment he has set for me. I am going to milk this motherfucker out. I'm going to go into overtime, double overtime, and triple overtime if I can. And at the end of sudden death, triple overtime, I'm going to call foul and have a flag thrown so I can negotiate and say, no, not quite right yet. I'm not ready. Yeah, you never know. I might have to come back again. Oh, Jesus. All right, I can go the opposite on this too. Look, once was enough. Thank you. Appreciate the second chance. Um, I kind of like going with the old saying, you only die once. All right, I did that. Cross that off my list. Did it, done it. Don't have to do it again. I'm good. I'll just kind of, wait here until the universe completely expands and all the lights go out and the stars die and disappear. And most likely I'll still be sitting in some sort of shit ass homemade back porch made out of used wood. Still bitching, but I'll be happy about it. And yes, I do joke around because look, if I was made in God's image, then he must have a sick sense of humor also. And he's got to be well, look at the fucking platypus. He has got to have a sick sense of humor. I'll be right back, sir. Oh, gee. Really? I'm sorry, guys. I had a lot of cat in. And I had to get another beer. And I got to open the other door to let the cat in the house. I'll be right with you. Oh, Jesus. And I'll tell you what. I think rigor mortis is sitting in. Whew. Because I was stiff as a son of a bitch trying to move here. And it friggin' hurts. Yes. Jesus says, in my Father's home, there are many mansions, and what awaits us is unimaginable. Well, it depends on which version you're reading, because he also, I think it's along the same lines, but in my Father's mansion, there are many rooms as well. That says it somewhere there. I'm sorry. I don't think I'm misquoting it, but I do know there are several different versions of the Bible, and certain words and text do change. They mean the same thing. You take it as a general meaning, it means the same thing, saying the same thing, but different words. And that's where a lot of, sorry, here, let me get that away. That's where a lot of confusion comes in too, is people get tied down in the actual text and what was the specifics. It's kind of like when my mother was very famous for this. Hey, Ma, can I go outside? Well, I don't know. Can you? Instead of saying, may I? Can I? My father has many mansions. My father's mansion has many rooms. It means the same thing. Let's not get bogged down into the actual text, syntax, whatever you want to call it. I can't think of the damn correct words right now. Sorry. Too many beers. Too many. Yeah. Now, growing up, yes, there are different versions of the Bible. Growing up, I was brought up on the King James version. Um, and that is a little bit different than the what at the time, the other very popular version of the Bible was and I just had it 3 times on the tip of my tongue, and it left me. Because it's actually mentioned in 2 songs that I used to listen to. Oh, and I can't think of it. Oh, almost had it. It was right here. Damn it. Mopar nut. So, if you don't mind me asking you, oh, it's a personal question. Some people don't like to admit it. Um, you Baptist? Are you Catholic? Are you Protestant? Um, if you don't mind me asking. Yeah, the Bible is a book that needs a great deal of intelligence to understand. You are absolutely correct there. I fall short of that. Um, I try. I do try, but I fail. And you know what? There is so much wisdom written there. I mean, I'll put it to you this way. Even if you are an atheist, you don't believe in God, you don't believe in heaven, hell, or anything, the moral lessons from the Bible is just an awesome way to guide your life. That's it. I mean, simply, there are so many lessons in there, so much information. Okay, I can respect that. Yes, Christian. Yeah, that covers a whole lot because you have Catholicism, you have Protestant, and then you have everything sub from that. My God, even the Mormons are Christians. Um, all atheists want moral laws. I, that's a very broad, and I'm sorry, we're going to have to disagree on that because I, I won't. I have a problem with using all, always, none, no one, never, absolutes. I don't believe in absolutes. Um, and I'll have to disagree. Not all atheists want moral laws. There are plenty of atheists that are immoral and wouldn't give two shits about moral laws. There are quite a few Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, Jewish. Um, pick whatever you want that really don't want moral laws either. It's human. Most do. I'd even go 99.9% do. But that's that 0.1% that don't. They might be wired different. But fairness from what perspective? What is fair for me might not be fair for you. You know what I'm saying? Now, the whole truth from an outsider might be fair for both of us, but from my perspective, what is fair for you is not fair for me. And a lot of times, your perspective equates to your reality. If you believe, even if you are being treated fair, if you believe you are not being treated fair, that is your reality. And even though I want to be treated fair, and even though I might be actually be being treated fair, I might not perceive it as I'm being treated fair. Therefore, my perception is my reality. I don't know if that made fucking sense. I tried to make it make sense, but do you understand what I'm saying? In other words, if you and I do the exact same amount of work with the exact same amount of labor, with the exact same amount of energy, and we get paid the exact same amount of money, because you're an inch taller than me, I might perceive the fact that you didn't work as hard as I did, and I had to work a little harder. So therefore, I should get a little bit more money than you, because my perception is because you're slightly bigger than me, I had to work harder than you. So therefore, I should get paid more. That's my perception. Therefore, it's my reality. Where an outsider, our boss, goes, no, you guys put in the exact same amount of work, even though he's a little bigger than you. He's missing two toes on his left foot, so it puts him at a disadvantage. So you both put in the same amount of effort, ended up with the same amount of work being done, i.e., the end result was the same. So therefore, you both get paid the same. But my perspective is, doesn't matter. He's still taller than me, so I had to work harder. I should get paid more. Um, Even your last post here, which I can't really say, on YouTube, even though this is live. No, some people are not wired. They have mental issues where they don't see that as wrong. They, honest to God, seriously, they have no empathy. They have no clue. All they see is something that they want, and it makes them feel good, and they do it. And so, therefore, from their perspective, they don't see it wrong. Like it or not, they literally have no clue and they don't see it wrong. That's why I say I don't believe in absolutes. All and everyone. No, everyone cannot agree, because there are certain people that don't see that as wrong. Okay, now this one here. When the hot chick at work gets a raise, yeah, you have to deal with it. I got you. Yeah. Especially being a guy and being human and being a sinner, I might not think it's fair, but I can understand why she got the fucking raise. And as gorgeous as I am, I can see why I didn't. Normally, I'd say, especially if the boss man was a boss man, but nowadays it really don't fucking matter. It might be a boss woman still giving the hot chick the raise. Such is life. Yeah, I'll still deal with it. I'll deal with it, but irregardless, I'm still going to bitch about it. Come on. Like I've been talking about, I was made in God's image. He has the same fucking sense of humor I do. That's why I know he likes to fuck with me. That's why I was given a second chance. Just so when he's having a bad day, he can look down and go, man, I've had a bad day. I need a laugh. What's Mark doing? Ha! Dumbass. See, good. Glad I gave him a second chance. Stupid fuck. He always makes me giggle. I can literally picture him doing that at my expense. Yes, yes, I can. Oh, yeah, yeah, I know. I know what you're saying. It's like nature. You mess with a female bear's cub, you get what you deserve. Yeah. Oh, I understand that. I do. I do. Mm, trying to think here. Am I brave enough? No, I'm not. No, no, I understand that. You're absolutely right. That is, to be honest with, that is what is missing in the younger generation today. They don't understand what it means to fuck with mama bear. They just they don't get it. So therefore, they don't understand consequences of their actions. Uh, you know what I mean? It's a sad thing. When we were growing up, sir, before internet, before I was able to sit here, you could see my face, see what I look like, and talk to me and sit there and type in whatever you want. The conversation we would be having is you'd be sitting across the table from me, or would be on the street, whatever, wherever we were, but we would be face to face. We would be within arm's reach. At the longest, we might be on the phone talking to each other. But back when we were growing up, the only way we would have, unless you dialed the wrong number or I did, the only way we'd be having a conversation, even over the phone, is because we knew each other somehow. So therefore, if we got out of line, tell me I'm wrong. If I pissed you off, there would be consequences. Doesn't necessarily mean it came to blows, but there would be some immediate down home where you could feel it one way or the other consequences. With the computer age and the information age, that's gone. You can be whoever you want on the other side of this screen. You can be a big badass. You can do whatever you want. And there's really no consequences other than you get banned or you get ignored or whatever. There's nobody coming up to stomp you into the ground, smack you upside the head, or even have your mother, brother, sister, aunt, nephew, friend tell you they're disappointed in you and you're an asshole. And even if they do nowadays, it doesn't mean anything. You know, there's no consequence. There's no real input, output, and consequences for pissing somebody off or anything now. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, that's why unless you want to live on an island all alone, you have to have some law. But no one can be above the law. No one that goes, no one that goes double for those on high. Absolutely correct. And funny thing is, years ago, there was a few yeah, too many people still living at 45. I know. Yeah. Mm, mm, mm. Personal experience, I'll get to that later. What I was getting ready to say though was the post right above it, living on an island alone. There's a couple of movies, B-rated science flicks, lower tier, that I really got into and I enjoyed, and both of them were about a little bit metaphysical. Things happen for whatever reason, except for a couple people. Everyone on Earth disappeared. All the structures were here, the animals were here, the infrastructure was here, the power plants were still working. Boom was just like, boom, everyone was gone except for one person. Well, that's what they thought at the beginning of the movie. And it's just kind of like, well, everything is right here. It's like you wake up in the morning, everything is normal except there's nobody around except for you. And I'll be honest with you, for the longest time, I'm like, really? They made this into a horror flick like this is something terrible? My mindset at the time was, ah, that would be awesome. I was actually disappointed in as the movie progressed when they found several other people that were still alive and still there with them. I was like, well, damn, that fucking sucks. I was kind of grooving on the fact that I could imagine myself being on Earth the way it is right now, except there was no people. Still had the cat, still had the dogs, still had everything else. Lights are still on for now. Everything is just, I woke up one morning, everything's the same except I'm the only person on Earth. And it's like, hmm, yeah, I could fucking deal with that. I could deal with it. I'm definitely moving away from any nuclear power plants because I get about 72 hours before they go critical. Back at the time, now I probably have about a month or so because everything. But yeah, I'm kind of like I could deal with that. That would be okay. Um, yeah, I I'm still trying to figure out the downside to this, and it's kind of like, well, wouldn't you get long? No, no, not for the immediate future. No, no. And as long as everything's still operating and I still have the internet with internet porn, no, I'll be fine. I'll be good. I'm good. Yeah. I I can deal with that for a few years. Oh, I can just put gear oil behind my ears and social distance all day long. Oh shit. Okay. And no, it wasn't Running Man. It was long before that as a movie came out. Now that book's been out for a while. I know because I read it about 40 friggin' years ago. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, look, worst comes to worst, I still have a VCR as well as a CD player, too. So, anyway, you know, whatever. Not to mention, hey, the sex shops should still be open. So, and there'd be nobody there that I would be embarrassed about getting certain things. Let's not go down this rabbit hole. Let's different subject. Just yep. But dude, I appreciate hanging with me this long, man. My God, it's been almost 3 hours. I appreciate this. I enjoyed talking to you, my friend. This is awesome. It's one again. Since you subbed to me, I usually go on some rants every now and then. This one, I think I'll leave up. Normally, if you don't mind, unless you want me to delete it in the morning. But normally, I delete the live feeds and everything because it goes way off kilter. But I think I'll leave this one up if you have no um, qualms about it. Um, because basically it's just kind of like me and you talking right here. That's about it. All right. Yes. Yes. I would like to leave it because out of like 16 lives I've done, I think I got four that are up on my channel, two of which are under 2 minutes. And one, um, I was out in the shed and it was cutting on and off. So, yeah, it'd be cool. And thank you. Thank you. What was your friend's name that passed? Because I will take that as a compliment that I was like your buddy that you know roam on all subjects. I just I don't know. Sometimes being a truck driver and everything, I have no one else to talk to but myself. Nobody has CBs anymore. They're passe, and I actually find myself sitting alone in the truck for hours on end, and I have conversations with myself, and then I think about all sorts of different things. The problem with that is, while I'm driving, I'm not able to access Google or YouTube or anything else. So I just have to go on what's in my head, which can be scary for what goes through it, or scary because it's empty. Either way, it's usually not a good thing. Richard, what type of tradesman? What was his skill? What was his trade? And my condolences, but if he was a good friend of yours, he should be remembered. And I don't know how many people watch this 3 hours in, but as long as you're remembered, obviously you're never forgotten, but that means you're still around and appreciated. In other words, it's one way of being immortal. Keep the memories alive. Okay, don't worry, they will have an implant for that. Okay, I was kind of hoping that wasn't his trade. That wasn't the answer. Okay, he was a carpenter. Okay, that's better. Thank you. You had me worried for a second. Just just the way things go here. You know what I mean? If I was a carpenter. Oh, I'm not even going to try that song right now. And you were a lady. Would you still love me? But it's funny. They're working on a computer implant for your brain. Eh, I think they're working on a replacement, not just an implant, but a replacement. But yeah, no, um, I wouldn't doubt it. I see it happening eventually. Um, cybernetic augments, part of it being the brain. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm definitely going to mention this one. It was cool talking to you. You have a good mind. Thank you. Thank you. It's weird. It goes all over the place, you know. But that's me. I'm interested in all sorts of stuff. All right, Mopar Nut, you go to bed. You have yourself a good evening. I'm gonna stay up and babble and have a couple more beers. Matter of fact, I'm gonna shut this live stream down and start another one. But you have yourself a good evening, sir. Well, it's morning now, but it was great talking to you. Eh, you take care. Yeah, I'm not going to even have to mention anything to the wife. She wouldn't believe me anyway. But you take care. Have a good night, my friend. All right, guys. Yes, I'm going to shut this one down. I'm going to start another live stream just so I can have a few beers and babble. Y'all take care. Have a good evening.